The first trick that I'm going to show you here is when you actually, if you have not turned the ferrule yet and you notice that there is a little gap, but you still have a decent amount of excess plastic for the ferrule, I will show you how you can go about to cover that up. What you do is you just need a little rod. You could even use like an old screwdriver, just something that can retain heat. Next, I'll use just a can of propane with a torch on it. And basically, you don't need it bright pink, but you want to make sure that you have enough heat on there so you can work with the plastic. That looks about right, just before it got pink. And then what you do is you just run that over, and it's hot, and that is going to cover the gaps that you have left from the ferrule sliding when it was epoxied. And basically it will go around the whole head like so. And as it's filling in the gap, just keep working your way around. And as you see how I'm doing that, it's filling. Now what you want to do is, after you work your way around the whole club head, let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes for the plastic to settle again, because if you try taking it right to the ferrule turning belt right away, it won't hold and it won't cover the gap that you have left in your ferrule. So that, once we turn the ferrules, we will show you that in a couple minutes. But now let me show you the other option that you can use, and that was for when you have the gap after you've already turned your ferrule. Maybe sometimes you happen to not notice it, so you'll have that gap like so. Well, here's a little trick that I use. First off, you want to get yourself like a glass mug or an old coffee mug, something that you don't care about. You do not want to use a plastic mug in this example because it won't work for the substance that we're going to use. A good little trick is you use your old ferrule shavings, and like so. Now we'll put it in here. Now the key ingredient is you just want to take a little acetone. You can purchase it at any hardware store. And what I'll do is just put a little bit of acetone in there. And as you can see, then I just take like a little wood stirrer and I stir it up. Might have put just a little too much acetone this time, but just to kind of show you guys the idea of what we're trying to accomplish here. And when I bring it up, you'll see that you have like a paste. And basically, then you take that paste and you put it on, and you'll cover the gaps as well. Kind of use it and you smooth it out. Sometimes you have to play with it a little bit, but it will work for you. You just got to be patient. That's always the key. Be patient when you're doing this type of stuff. As you can see, it is starting to fill in the gaps, and again, after you work your way around the whole head, you just want to give it about 5 to 10 minutes again, usually to just let the plastic settle before you can turn the ferrule. And then basically it looks like nothing really ever had happened, and you still have the one-piece ferrule, and it's not in a gap where it looks professional to the customer. And now, as you can see, the plastic has adhered to the club. So now what I'm going to do is turn the ferrules and show how it finishes up here. the little gap has been filled. This, I wouldn't worry about too much. That can come off when you just acetone or use a little epoxy cleaning solvent. Or you could even give it just one more little quick spin. The gap is gone. And here we are with the club that we use the acetone shavings with the ferrule shavings there. Now we'll get ready to turn this and finish it and show you what it looks like. And as you can see here, after the club has been turned, the one that we used with the shavings, you can see how the gap has been filled in pretty nicely, and it actually almost looks like that it was never even really messed with. So as you can see, those are just two tips that I use and that other club makers themselves use, and feel free, and I think that you'll see benefit from these tips that we've covered here in the workshop. The final tip I plan on covering today is using video in the process of fitting to locate a player's release in their swing. Now, there are a couple options you can use. You can go with the regular video camera, but then there is a couple of software systems out there as well, such as the V1 and the Golf Achiever VAS, video analysis system, which if you want to invest in those, they work great. But you also, just by having a regular video camera and Windows media player, you can get through and actually pinpoint what you're looking for to give you an idea of when the player comes in and where you're trying to pinpoint that player's release. As you saw there, we videotaped the player's swing. Now, with using the slow setting on the Windows media player, you can play it. You won't be able to break it down into frame-by-frame segments like a V1 or the Golf Achiever VAS system, but you can play it slow enough that it'll give you a really good idea of where that player is releasing. And an offer I'm throwing at you now is the first member from each time zone to call in with the player's correct release will receive this nice PCS visor. So act now and get on it. And I would also like to take the time now to thank you for joining me today on this shop tip instructional video. I know that the tips demonstrated today will be extremely beneficial to you all in your shops, and I encourage you to go out there and use them and see what they can do for you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.